Speaking of times changing, some people think and believe that recently things have been feeling a bit normal, like from the past how things used to feel like. Days feel longer and time moves looks like it's moving normally. And some people think that that could be the only reason behind that is that sun shut down, and they think that's what really changed things. Maybe those guys were really doing something with reality. Let's see this video, my friend. Listen to it and hear what point our friend is trying to drive home.
CERN just shut down the Large Hadron Collider until 2030, and now the cornucopia is back. So on June 29th, the LHC was shut down for a 4-year-long upgrade, but people online are already saying that reality feels different. Ever since the shutdown, I'm seeing people say that time is starting to feel normal again instead of being stuck on fast forward. Others say they feel like a weight has lifted. Their senses are sharper, the sky is clearer, they're finally getting restful sleep and dreaming again, they're not waking up with headaches, and even some with a constant ringing in their ears has suddenly stopped. Now leave a comment if you've experienced any of this, because apparently a lot of people are noticing it, including me. But what actually is CERN and what is the LHC? Well, CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research, founded in 1954, based near Geneva on the Swiss-French border. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest particle accelerator, a roughly 17-mile underground loop where physicists smash particles together near the speed of light to study and find out the true nature of reality and discover things like the Higgs boson or God particle. Before the LHC was first fired up in 2008, there were a lot of people online worried that it was going to create something like a black hole that would destroy the Earth. It didn't, but the weird part is that after they first turned it on, a lot of people say that reality started feeling off. People said time started to feel faster, and the world in general kept getting stranger and more chaotic. This was also around the time when the Mandela effect seemed to start, and people have speculated that somehow CERN has caused this and made us to jump into different timelines, and that's why people are remembering things differently. And here's something else interesting. Every few years, the LHC enters a major shutdown for repairs or upgrades, and shortly after, strange or global events seem to follow. Most notably, the first time it was shut down was right after the first tests, and the global financial crisis of 2008 happened. And the last time it shut down, well, that happened right before the pandemic started in 2020. Now, I'm not saying that CERN caused any of this, but when you run the world's largest particle accelerator trying to crack open the secrets of the universe while also doing mock rituals like this on your campus at night, people are going to start to ask questions. Now, what is this new shutdown for? Well, they're shutting it down until 2030 to upgrade it to the high luminosity LHC, which is said to be 10 times more powerful. Now, it's probably all just coincidence, and that cornucopia image, well, I ran it through a few AI detectors and got mixed results, so who knows exactly, but if the last decade is any indication, we might be in for a wild ride when they turn the LHC.
Wow, man, interesting. Look at this fake footage of Holo.
Yeah, look down.
My God, that's the sky.
Clouds are moving under us.
It's like another world down there.
A man going through his late father's belongings recently discovered a VHS tape dated 1998. In the footage, his father can be heard in the background describing a hole he encountered. When he looks down into it, he does not see darkness. He sees the sky. The tape cuts off after only a few seconds. The location was never identified. Whether this represents evidence of hollow earth, a portal to another place and time, or an inverted atmospheric anomaly is unknown.
That footage looks extremely fake to me. Now look at this technology.
This is the neural chip. It's going to allow us to communicate with telepathy, with people, and with robots. No thank you. I'm here at the Museum of the Future in Dubai. This right here, this system, is the first payment implant under your skin for contactless payment. There's a reason that Neo and John Connor tried to take out the robots of the future, because artificial intelligence is here.
Yesterday I visited the Museum of the Future located in Dubai, which is architecturally stunning, but it's more of an immersive experience than a museum. The opening date on the space shuttle that you launch from is 2/22/2071 in the future. 222 is my son's birthday. Part of the exhibit was preserving life. They have 2,000 different species that are located in jars that are to extract DNA. It very much gave Jurassic Park vibes. Even had an octopus, or as I call Cousin Bubba the alien. They had fragments of actual spaceships in there. Here's me on NPC mode. One of the booths you could actually choose to take a mission to go to space, which I would do anytime, if space is even real. But getting back to what I said about robots trying to take over the future, this is a peregrine falcon along with the spider and the robot dog that are designed to collect data. And as you know, the peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world that they would use as drones. Now, it's a beautiful museum, and I was always fascinated by technology, but no.
Oh man, technology is fascinating, but sometimes it's extremely scary. Oh my friend, hear what this ancient scroll from the past encourages us not to fear. Be strong and courageous always.
The first was, I think we took, I don't know, several hundred of these ancient texts in different languages. So we kind of put this all into an AI. And my first question was, what's the most repeated phrase in all ancient texts? Mayan Popol Vuh, the Egyptian stuff, the Yoga Sutras, the Vedic texts, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, which is a huge one, a very influential one. The most repeated phrase in every single ancient text is "do not fear."
Can you say more? Do not fear. Is it always the same reason? I know in my tradition, it's I do not fear because God is with you, meaning you're never alone. Adonai li velo ira. What are sacred texts trying to tell us about fear in general, besides don't have it?
Yeah, in the Christian and I think Jewish Bible, in the Torah, and even in the ancient Christian, which used to be actually a Hebrew book, is called the Septuagint. Even in the Septuagint, it says "do not fear" over 300 times, and it's not always "for I am with you." And in the King James Bible, it says "do not fear" 365 times. But I think what it's saying is, and we're going to get into some Alan Watts territory here, but I think what it's really saying is, like, you're afraid of nothing. Like, you're afraid of something that is meaningless. And it's not that big of a deal. Like, there's stuff going on that after your little super important animal body is dead, then consciousness is still gonna be there. Like, something like that consciousness is gonna be eternal. But the coolest thing was that we went through it another time, and this is not in that YouTube video that I made about the ancient texts. And I said, find every time that a person asked God, the universe, the heavens, fill in the blank, for help, and it worked. We found every prayer and every prayer plus every thesaurus word that you could throw in there for prayer, and every time it worked. And they said there are 4 elements and that it found that every single one of them in all the books had in common. Just 4 things, which is massive. And we'll cover that on the next episode.
Stop it!
So they said the first thing was an acknowledgement of the vastness of the universe and the smallness of the self.
Oh man, wow, hey, I'm speechless on that. Oh my friend, some people happen to believe that in the near future, everyone or every homestead will need a robot for one reason or the other. This is what Good Vibes brother here, the richest man, is telling us.
My prediction is there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect, but it is a necessary. Like, you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all. Because if it's work that has to be done, then you and only some people can do it, then you can't have abundance.
Then it's narrow.
Yeah, it's narrow, yeah. Exactly. So, but if you have billions of humanoid robots, and I think there will be, I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one, because who wouldn't want a robot to, assuming it's very safe, watch over your kids, take care of your pet.
Oh, my friend, Dr. John Greer came with fresh photos of UFOs. Take a look at them, my friend. Steve Greer.
Okay, do you have these pictures right now?
Yeah.
Can you show them on the camera?
Oh, I'd have to fish them out, but yeah, they're pretty amazing, actually. So this is one. And, you know, he, very triangular shaped head, almost like a beak-like face. It was at an event we did out in the Arizona desert a couple years ago. There were about 30 witnesses to this. This photograph was taken with a really good Nikon camera by David Marconi, who wrote the screenplay for Enemy of the State. And it was during a reconnaissance and contact event we were doing there in the desert up above Tucson, up at about 4,000 or 5,000 feet. And it was a very unusual series of events happened. We have another one. I don't know if I have that one on my phone. That happened at Joshua Tree National Park about, 15 years ago. And quite spectacular, everyone saw. And as a person took a picture of it, now this was under low light conditions, but it's very clear what it is. And it's an extraterrestrial being that's sort of levitating, floating out in the desert just outside our circle. So yeah, we have a lot of unusual material.
Myself, I don't believe those UFO photos are real. They look fake.
In the sun, it gets dehydrated. If I put food out in the full moonlight, it gets putrefied. It putrefies really fast.
Y'all, some of the stuff that this gentleman points out about the sun and the moon is absolutely mind-blowing. Take a listen.
So it rots. It's exactly opposite. And then you can also, at nighttime, when the moon is full, you can pull out a thermometer and put it out in the light of the moon, right? And let's say, as an example, the thermometer reads 70 degrees in the full moonlight. If I put it in the shade of the moonlight, it actually gets warmer. And I pull it out, it gets colder again. So the moon's light is cold. It's not hot. So it's not reflecting the sun. It has nothing to do with the sun. That's what I mean by it's its own light. And that's a simple scientific experiment. Anybody can do it. Thermometer. I don't know if you've ever done it, but I've lived in the northern climates before, and a lot of times if I park my car under a tree, I'll come out to my windshield, to my car in the morning, and half of my windshield will be frozen and the other half won't be. It's happened many, many times, and I never really thought about it until a few years ago, and I put it all together. I'm like, wow. The reason it frosted over is because the full moon light hit that part of the windshield, and this part was underneath the tree in the shade.
So we're rotating around the Earth, the sun.
Exactly. I'm proposing to you that the sun and the moon are moving around us, just like it looks like. They are the same size, not 400 miles further, bigger, and 400 times further apart. It's very much the same. The sun, and as astrologically speaking, I think the moon has just as much of an impact as the sun on us. One is our conscious side, one's our unconscious side. One's gold, one's silver, one's hot, one's cold. From our perspective, the moon and the sun are the same size from our perspective, but they tell us, science tries to tell us that we're going around the sun and the moon's going around us. It looks like, and from our experience, it looks like the sun and the moon are different. They're the exact same size. They have power. We can feel their power. Like if you believe in astrology at all, like all of our ancestors have always believed it. They believe that the sun, the moon, and all the stars, each of the individual stars have their own power. They have their own potency that they're affecting us. So like if you're born on a particular day of the year, that's your sun sign. You're a Gemini. And then the exact day that you're born will know, okay, that's where the moon was in the sky. And then they can take a picture of the entire sky. They know exactly where all the planets were the moment you were born. And that's going to impact your entire life. All of our ancestors said the sun is masculine, the moon's feminine. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. And it makes sense. Like if you see the world like that, everything starts clicking. Like all these weird questions that we have from our perspective, from our society, are all basically they're all science questions. They're like, well, if we this and that, then and then you come up with all these weird questions. But if you just see the Earth as simple, that's how I see it. It's just very simple. Basically, what it boils down to is the sun is not the center of our galaxy. We are. The sun, the moon, all the planets are revolving around us, and not just us as a whole. But I like to tell people, like, your mom and dad told you the world doesn't revolve around you. And I like to tell them, yeah, it does, actually. It totally revolves around you. Whatever you think and believe is the world that you're going to have. Your thoughts, your perspective, the things you expect happen. We live in a magical universe. If you put food out...
Oh man, good vibes brother here having an interesting perspective. Look at this UFOs, my friend. Some people think that this is the real deal, the real UFO. But look at how it's behaving. That thing, why is it doing so? It's like it's increasing in size. Why is it growing like this? What? Ah, did you just see the way it moved? Man, oh my god, my god. Ah, no way. But this thing, ah, these things really surprise me. It's like they don't recognize science at all and physics. All the laws they break at their own will. Man, I.
Has a temple on the Yale campus.
Temple?
A temple, yes. It's a building maybe this 50, 60 feet by 40 feet, maybe 40 feet high. There's no windows, two big steel doors.
Okay, so pause. Because when most people hear secret society, they picture something vague. A rumor, a name, a symbol on the internet. But a temple is different. And what he's describing isn't subtle either. It's not a hidden room somewhere. It's a building on campus, with no windows and steel doors. Look, we can debate the bigger story later, but this building is real. Watch this.
We know what the temple looks like because back in 1880s, a number of Yale students became a little unhappy about what was going on inside this temple. When they went by it at midnight, sometimes they heard strange noises and all kinds of rumors on the Yale campus as to what this might be. There was a break-in. I call it the Yale Gate. There was a break-in to the temple, and the students who broke in cataloged what they found.
This is where it gets weird, because you know how these stories usually go, right? It's always people say, or some believe, but he's claiming something more specific. He's saying there was a moment, way back, where the secrecy cracked. Students broke in, and according to him, they left with documentation. And what they found inside had numbers on the walls.
And they made a drawing, a design of the interior of the temple. And 3 of the rooms are numbered. One is 322, one is 323, and one is 324. 322 is also, I suspect, the chapter number.
And then he drops a number, 322. And this is where the story shifts again, because numbers don't work like symbols do. A symbol can be interpreted 100 ways, but a number usually points to something specific. And what he says next is the part that really stuck with me, because it implies that 322 isn't just written on a wall, it's used as a signature, as if it's a quiet way of saying, I'm one of you.
322 is an identification. And also in correspondence between members, they conclude their correspondence where you and I would conclude yours truly or yours sincerely. They conclude yours in 322.
And this is where the name most people recognize finally enters the story. Because the order isn't how the internet knows it. It's known by something much simpler. Something that sounds almost childish, until you realize how long it's been attached to real power. Skull and bones. And the number that keeps following it, 322. Now this is the part people usually skip past, because it gets uncomfortable. But it's also the part that explains everything. Watch this.
This is a symbol of death. Now why would they take a symbol of death?
Yes, from what I understand, when a new member is initiated, that would be in the senior year at Yale, he's placed within a coffin.
Oh my.
And from the photographs we have of members inside the temple, many of these photographs are the 15s sitting around a table, and they have this skull and the crossbones sitting on the table in front of them. It is the symbol of death, and it has been called the Brotherhood of Death, and I think it probably more adequately should be called the Brotherhood of Death.
Okay, this is where my brain stopped treating this like a rumor, because up until now, everything could still be explained away. But this is the first detail that feels deliberate, like it's designed to do something to you. And when you see rituals like this show up inside a closed network, you start asking a different question. Not, is it real, but what is it for?
Look at the history, the biographies of the leading members of the order, and reconstruct their career, and see if there's a common pattern in their careers. So, but to come back to my point, I have to reconstruct the objectives. What are the objectives? In the words of one member, might is right. If you have the power, you use it to achieve your objectives. What is the objective? As you look at the histories of individual members, it can only be one thing: to acquire power.
Oh man, my friends, wow! When talking about cults is quite always interesting. It feels like hearing secrets of other people, which my friend sparks some different type of happiness. And I wonder, would those guys really be doing things of unaliving people? I don't think so. Maybe just people have misconception about them and they try to make the organization look scary to keep people outside. Leave your comments on that, my